And hello, welcome to Black Muse. Black Muse is a weekly video podcast series exploring the rich genealogy of Black culture. It's where creatives from the worlds of jazz, hip hop, gospel, politics, sports, fashion, theater, and literature come to engage in the lively art of conversation. And today I have the pleasure of once again sitting with a master jazz musician, and it is none other than Mr. Michael Ross. We are going to be talking about a program, a very new program with the Chicago West Community Music Center. And Michael, why don't you tell us a little bit about this program that is called Reimagining Jazz?
Well, I've been with the program since the very beginning, actually. Can't think of the year. I think it was probably about 2000 or we started over at the Alston Town Hall. I think it's over there in that area. And with Howard Sandifer and Darlene Sandifer. And we've had a group of kids from high school. I mean, in the beginning, we had instruments that was broken, but we made the best of it. And we started from there, and these kids turned out to be amazing, actually. I mean, they did some really great work. We had some nice programs that we put together. So you had a chance to actually see their talents kind of come alive.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, I think I've been participating on the board for almost 5 years, maybe a little more.
Okay.
And I have watched kids grow.
Yes.
Lives change for their participation.
Mhm.
It is amazing. Amazing. And you are introducing a lot of them to new concepts. But talk to me a little bit about what first drew you to jazz.
Actually, in my family, my mother, she sang. And I remember she would always have some music playing in the house. When I was just in high school, there was a station, WBE, Marty Faye. And right before she would go to work, she would always have the radio on, and I'm hearing this, and and even before then, I remember my sister having a lot of jazz albums, and I had my own bedroom, sort of. This is on the West Side, and I had an old record player in my room, see, and yeah, and so I would get some of her albums, and one in particular, I would listen to Nancy Wilson. Nancy Wilson had this album called Broadway My Way. I think that was the name of it. And it was just something about that voice that really drew me in. And I think from there, and then just the fact of just hearing music all the time, jazz music all the time, it just got me started.
And that's
Yeah.
part of our culture, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think there's a person, a Black person, probably many other cultures as well, but the jazz piece is just something that so many of us grew up with. How did your mentors model community when you first got interested in jazz?
My mentors,
Yeah, yeah.
meaning,
Like, community, did they take you in? Were you there as a spectator and they just treated you like you're only here to listen? I'm not going to teach you anything.
um, no, they took me in. They embraced me. I had a chance to sit in with Don Patterson and Sonny Stitz at the Bamboo Room.
Yeah.
And, I'm just kind of like really kind of getting it together, but just the fact that they allowed me to sit in, I thought that was a beautiful thing. Yeah, to hear these guys play, it was just, it was great.
Mm.
Mm.
Well, let's dig into this 10-week series called Reimagining Jazz. I mean, today, you and two other masters have been teaching the students. Um, I want to talk a little technically here. How do you interpret reimagining through your instruments?
Well, I have a student now, someone who's interested in learning jazz guitar. And the approach to me, like I would mention to him, is to actually go and listen to jazz guitarists. I mean, we're talking about, people like Kenny Burrell, Wes Montgomery, Grant Green, those guys. So you can actually hear Joe Pass, so you can actually hear how it's presented, the feeling, the emotion, the style of playing, the way they phrase, all of that to encompass, what it means to approach it in that way. And so, and this is one way that they can actually get a sense of, the instrument, how to express themselves, and just to get them started.
Yeah. So these are some of the experiments that you encourage them to take to kind of familiarize themselves
Exactly.
uh, with the genre.
Hmm.
How can young players study the masters and still, you know, sound like themselves or find their
Well,
own voice and not
that's
just replicate what they're hearing?
right. That's one of the hardest things because it's finding your own voice. I had trouble with that in the beginning because of the influences that I would listen to. Of course, Wes Montgomery, George Benson. George Benson came on the scene and he just kind of wiped everybody. Everybody is like, oh my God, it's like, is there any more room left? Um, and then you have to almost stop listening to them. You have to go within and see how Ashley said, well, how do I want to express myself? How do I want to interpret a song? And and develop my own sound, my own style of playing. And so those are the things that I began to kind of focus on. And I found that when you write original compositions, it helps you to actually find your voice.
Mm.
Hmm.
Hmm. Do you find that the students are nervous about original compositions or are they eager? Um, Especially your student that you're working with?
Well, I think they're eager. They're young. They're eager to learn something new, but at the same time, they have their own way of thinking, a way of approaching certain things. So you have to kind of give them that room to be able to be creative, and so they can put their own self uh, into the mix of the music.
Yeah, that's great. Well, let's talk a little bit about the social impact of what you're doing, the community uplift, because if you can change one child or teach one child something, you're really impacting many other people that they're connected to. Because this is a young person who could be doing many other things, but
Exactly.
they are focused on, they're in school today.
Yeah.
They are on a Saturday when there are many marches going on in our city. But that's one of the things I love about Chicago West Community Music Center and what Howard and Darlene Sandifer have done.
Exactly.
I mean, the vision that Howard had from way back in 1999,
Yeah.
and it's almost a full circle vision now because what he envisioned then, to look at what this is Darlene's vision, this reimagining jazz.
Okay.
So it's a full circle in my view how they're doing this.
Right.
But their mission has always been to improve the social and intellectual condition of the West Side communities
Right.
through music.
Mhm.
How do you talk to your students about ensemble playing and how that can mirror healthy communities?
One example is, matter of fact, a young man, he's here. He started with us. His name is Jamal Crowder. Um, he's gone to college. He's graduated. Now he's conducting. I remember when he came to us, and, he had no real experience at all. And, he's just grown so in prayer. He's conducting an orchestra. He writes, and just just to see him grow, from as we started, and so that in itself affects the community because he's able to influence other young musicians as well. And so if we can get more of him like that, it's just it's better for young kids to see that they can accomplish some great things.
I always feel like no matter what you're teaching a child, there's a life lesson in it.
It is.
And I wonder when you are teaching your students, does the conversation come up where you can, point to parallels between, say, improvisation and problem solving in life?
Yes, yes. Another example was I was able to do a Broadway show called The Wiz. And
I'm actually I've handled press for the local engagement of a Wiz for the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 times it's been here.
and and I kind of gave that example of believing in yourself, and when you talk about life lessons, and kind of gave an example of that approach of it's not just in music but throughout life, and
Talk a little bit about that. Like, what is it about improvisation that can help young people learn how to solve problems?
well, it's music is mathematical as well too. I mean, we deal with rhythms, we deal with interpretation and improvising. They may be in a situation where they might have to learn how to improvise a certain situation. We improvise in music because we're always trying to navigate our way out of our solo. And so it connects with life in general. Whereas mathematically, you have to learn how to add, subtract, divide. You have to learn how to improvise in a situation spontaneously, and so all of those things apply to life lessons and
Control your emotions so your solo doesn't run too long.
okay, you know, and so all of that connects. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. So, okay, you can academically, there's a clear way to measure success, right? If the student is succeeding. But how do you measure success in terms of confidence, teamwork, leadership when you're teaching music?
Well, success is seeing the growth of the student. No matter what level they may get to, but just the fact that they got something out of this program that is going to that they can kind of carry within their walk of life, and so in that regard, there's a level of success depending on what level you want to reach,
Mm-hmm.
how far you want to go. If a student is willing and determined, then we can take them there, and then they have to do the rest.
The sky is the limit.
Yes.
Have you had a moment where you saw something in your student and like witnessed a transformation in something or saw an inspiration take root?
Yeah, yeah. I remember this one kid. He came to the class, knew nothing about. His parent brought him to class. All he wanted to do was play basketball. His parents said, "Well, if you can take him and just help him out." He wanted to play piano, Well, he didn't want to at first, but
Mama.
but we put him on piano, and Howard worked with him, and to see this guy grow, Howard can tell you about him. He also went to college, and just it's just one of those success stories, and we kind of saw that in him because after he began to learn a little something on the piano, he just took it in and just, ran with it,
Wow.
and we knew right then that this was going to be something that he was going to really be successful in doing.
Did he surprise himself?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did, really. And his parents was just, just elated over the fact that, he picked us up and did so well. We had recitals, um, events where he played, and also he formed his own group within the class. So, so it was
Because that's something I have to tell you. I give you so much kudos, you and all of the other masters in this program, because parenting is critical. And in this day and age, it is just even more critical.
Huh.
Every child doesn't have that hands-on parent. So when they are in a program like this, you all kind of become that for them.
Yeah, I agree.
Them.
I agree.
The life lessons.
Life lessons.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
Yeah, yeah. Talk to me a little bit about the program design and the pedagogy of what you guys are teaching. So this is a 10-week intensive, this particular one, Reimagining Jazz, and it's giving young people both the skills and the structure to create. How do you balance theory with creativity?
Well, theory is something that, it outside of what we're doing, theory is, you encompass theory as well as them being able to learn how to improvise, understanding the music. Um, Theory is another form of practicing, uh, knowing what level of theory you have already received, first of all. And from there, uh, after we see what level of theory you know, and then we try to put it all together. Um, and we have some great instructors that's with us who are very professional. And so, I think in that regard, just knowing some parts of theory will help them be able to perform. So,
And what's the role of peer-to-peer learning? Do they get a chance to kind of see you as a solo artist, or are they learning? Are they watching you and one of your peers as an observer? Are they able to learn how you relate with one another musically?
yeah, I think they do. I think they're watching all of us, and they see how we interact with each other. Um, and I
Because young people are always watching.
yeah, they're always watching. And so, it's important for us to be able to set an example in a sense. But it comes natural for us because a lot of us know each other and we respect each other. And so it's all about the students. It's not so much about us, but we're all working together.
Howard and Darlene have a knack for picking people like that, identifying people like that. They really do, because that's who they are.
Yeah,
They're really about the business of these kids growing up
that's sure.
and really being able to contribute and create and, do something in life. So how can the students sustain momentum after the final performance, which I think is like 5 weeks from now, right? There's a culminating.
Recommending event. Going to be around December 13th, probably, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So after that, when the class is over, how are they going to sustain the momentum?
We did share our telephone numbers, emails. That's one way if they would like to get in touch with us. But at the same time, what I've noticed is that sometimes the program goes all year round. A lot of them wants to come back, and so even those that might pursue some other career, at least they got a chance to experience this. And this is something that can probably take them through whatever profession that they might find themselves undertaking.
As a master artist who's been really with Chicago West Community Music Center since the beginning, if you looked at this program 10 years from now, what would you like to see that does not exist today?
It does not exist today. Well,
Like there must be a time when you sat back and said, if we did this, maybe.
well, if we, I think what we're doing is good right now. 10 years from now, I think more facilities like this that's available for young people to be able to go to, and without without feeling like there's a lot of pressure, or it's hard to get into these schools, or and they will find themselves just doing some creative things that a lot of times they don't get a chance to express themselves. So I'm hoping 10 years from now that we see more programs like this.
Well, that means that you are giving the board homework, because that means we have to be busy raising money so that we can have more satellite facilities around Chicagoland.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah, because even though this program started on the West Side, there are now, I think it started with 5 or 6 kids. Now we're talking about 700 to 1,000, that are impacted.
Okay.
This is major. This is not just some run of the mill little
This is true.
class happening.
This is true.
Yeah, yeah. I want to talk. We're gonna wind down, and I want to get a little bit of your reflections, having participated in this. This particular program, again, is Darlene Sandifer's dream. And Howard credits her for this. He loves being able to say, this is Darlene's vision. But it really is, she has always, both of them, of course, and she's always looked at keeping jazz alive in the hearts of young people. What do you feel the continued creation of Black music means? What does it mean to you personally?
Black music is so important. It's just like our classical music in a sense. It's something that we brought here to America that, like Louis Armstrong, even people before him, but just the fact that we have to make sure that we continue to own this music.
How do we do that?
By teaching these kids right now, telling them the history of Black music, and how it derived, how it all came together, and that's one approach of just carrying on the history of and the knowledge of Black music. It's so important because it's so rich. It has value. That's why it stays around so long. It's been around so long, and it's going to continue because it's technical. It's free. It's just so rich with everything, and that's why people gravitate. You have college students who want to learn this style of music, because they know it's something very authentic. It's something very original.
One of the things that I have always appreciated about you particularly is because when we think about the legacy of jazz and how we can keep it alive in the minds and hearts of young people and those who impact young people is that you don't just keep it in the classroom. You don't just keep it on, the musical stage, but you understand the importance of it being in theater, in radio, in sound.
Right.
My partner, Ronald J. Parson, who is a local director here, when he is directing a play, and he's a resident artist at Court Theater at the University of Chicago, when he is directing a play, he curates his own playlist for those 30 minutes before the play starts when audience members are coming into the theater. And our house is filled with jazz and blues because that is what he loves. And he too is committed to the history and the legacy of our music. It's just so critically important. How do you think, what do you tell you about carrying that baton forward? About, because they don't want to hear, this is your responsibility. You've got to do this. People died for this. How do you translate that message?
You can't force a person into it, and you're hoping that, just like I have this young student, he's Hispanic, but we were talking and it was, he told me, he said, it just looks like when jazz players are playing, like they're just having so much fun, And I said, well, yeah, I said, but, it was a struggle to get there to have that fun, I mean, it's, but,
all those rehearsals.
yeah.
With discipline.
And so by him being Hispanic, I mean, I can't force him into Black music per se, but I think when he started to listen more to the music, he's going to find himself really digging into it a little bit more.
If each student leaves understanding one truth about jazz and about themselves, what would you want that to be?
I would like for it to be the expression of who you are. It's the expression of a song. It's the expression of you in particular, of how you plan to express yourself, whether it's through music or whether it's through anything that you do in life or how you interact with other people. So I'm hoping that that they can at least understand that concept.
Very interesting, Michael Ross. I want to thank you for reminding us that music is both melody and prophecy. And I appreciate you for what you're doing to impact these young people.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
The Black Muse podcast is produced by the Chicago West Community Music Center, where music, mentorship, and creativity empower the next generation of artists and cultural leaders. To learn more, support their programs, or get involved, visit www.cwcmc.org. I'm Doris Davenport, contributing correspondent for Black Muse podcast.